Hey everybody, I'm so excited to have a Brooks graduate here with us today. Kirk Peck has been serving in the military and we have him with us. Kirk, would you mind introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Kurt. I am a 2017 graduate of Brooks High School. I grew up right there in Killen. I have been serving the military for about 2.5 years now, all of which has been in the state of Hawaii. Um, After I graduated from Brooks, went to UNA for school. I did the nursing program there, and that's how I became a registered nurse, which I am today. And kind of took a bit of a unique track as I went into the military. So we call them an Army nurse, so a little bit more specific, but it's provided a lot of unique career opportunities for myself. I used the ROTC track during UNA to get to this spot, through which I gained my commission to the military as an officer, and then that's how I became a nurse as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit more about how does that work with the ROTC? Is it something that you joined when you were in high school, or what would be the path that students might be interested in?
Yeah, so it's important to know that ROTC is kind of a completely not completely different, but it's a very different track than what we think of as like the traditional military track, of like enlisting, going through boot camp, and then specializing in a specific area, directly out of high school. ROTC allows, we call them cadets while they're in college, but it allows high school graduates to gain their degree while also gaining a commission in the military. So instead of joining the military as like a private, you'd end up coming out of college as a second lieutenant, which is like the lowest level of officer. So it provides a lot of unique career opportunities because you come out with a degree, obviously, and then a significant pay bump from what you would get if you were enlisted. So it's kind of a bit of a unique circumstance there.
Yeah. So I know one of the benefits of joining the military is having your education paid for. So is this the same situation? Was your education paid for while you were at UNA?
Yeah, it was. And the unique thing about ROTC is, in most circumstances, they'll pay for your school regardless of the school that you attend. So obviously, I went to UNA. Comparatively to other schools, their tuition is not quite as much. So they weren't paying quite as much for me as they were for maybe other students that attended like private colleges. But that's what makes it special is that you can kind of seek the degree that you want, the career path that you want and the college that you like. And most colleges out there have some form of ROTC program available. So you can, both get your commission while you're getting a degree in whatever you like. Um, and it really can be in whatever you want. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you join the military after college that your degree will directly influence what your job is in the military. Um, for mine, it did. Nursing is kind of a unique one, kind of a circumstance because you have to have a nursing degree to be a nurse, obviously. But once you serve your stint in the military and you get out, you will always have that bachelor's degree, master's degree, whatever it may be, to fall back on as you venture into the civilian side.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Does your time at college count towards your years of service with ROTC?
So it actually does not. That's how you kind of start paying back the money that they um, spend to put you through college when they pay for your schooling is after you get out, and that's when your years of service start. So for me, I graduated in December of 2021. I officially joined the military in early March of 2022. So I'm about 2.5 years into my contract of 4 years right now. So that's when it does start, is when you officially commission into the military um, after college. So unfortunately, the years in college don't count towards it.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting though. And it sounds like it may be a good option for a lot of students that want to go ahead and go to college, but are also thinking about the military. So, what would you say has been the best aspect about you serving in the military?
For me personally, being in the military, but also specifically being an Army nurse, I work at Army Medical Center in Hawaii. It's a hospital kind of comparable to the North Alabama Medical Center in Florence as far as size and um, patients, the amount of patients that we take care of. Very similar in that regard, but being an Army nurse allows me a unique kind of patient population. I'm taking care of either active duty military and their families or retirees and their families. So pretty much everyone that I am caring for has directly either served the country or has been a family member of someone who's served the country. So that's been very unique to me. It's provided me with a very rewarding experience as a nurse. Although being a nurse is very rewarding in and of itself, but even more so when you're able to, take care of people who have sacrificed so much for the country.
Yeah, and I mean, you're doing it in Hawaii, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, even better.
So, did you get to choose where you would be serving, or how does that work?
So you get when you graduate college, you join the military, you get up to I think it's about 10 options that you give you out of a list of so many, and you kind of get to rank those as to what you want. Fortunately for me, Hawaii I think was number two on my list, so I came out pretty good. Obviously, Hawaii is a pretty desired location. It would be for anyone. But to get the second option off the list is pretty solid. Some people are not so fortunate. There's a lot of different locations that you can be sent. There's a lot of different bases across the country and across the world as well. But there's some like in Louisiana, Colorado, Texas, California, and even in like Germany and Korea. So there's a lot of cool places that you can go as well.
Yeah. So, have you been able to travel with the military much? I know I've talked to several different veterans and preparing for this and people that are serving. And, that's one of the perks that they mentioned is just being able to see a lot of different places. And I know you're just 2 years in, but have you been able to travel to some different locations with the military?
Yeah, I've been able to travel to a few. My training was done in Texas before I came to Hawaii. That's where all the Army's medical training goes through. It's in San Antonio. So I was there for a couple months and then I came out here. And up until earlier this year, I was not really able to go to a lot of different places. But um, in March of this year, I was able to go to Alaska to serve kind of a quick little stint there. It was about 2.5 months. I was basically doing the same thing I'm doing in Hawaii but up in Alaska. So it was kind of the complete 180 from what I'm used to as far as climate goes and population. I'm used to a lot of different people down here. Alaska is definitely not as many people and much colder.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a cool experience. I had never been to Alaska, just like I'd never been to Hawaii before I came here. So being able to go to Alaska and experience that was super cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm able to go to some more places once I leave from here. Um, a lot of us that I work with get to go to Korea at some point to train with units out there. So I don't know if I'll get to do that or not, but hopefully so. But I'll definitely be going to another location after this, whether it's back in Texas, Washington, somewhere like that.
Okay, yeah. So I know with every job, obviously, there's good parts, there's bad parts, but what would you say has been the most challenging aspect of serving in the military?
The most challenging part for me thus far has just been kind of being so far away from home. I'm not one that's ever been gotten homesick in any way whatsoever, but it is challenging. Um, Obviously, Hawaii is a long way from Alabama. My family still lives in Killen. Almost all of them live in North Alabama. So being so far away from them is very tough. I've seen them in person, I think just twice in the last couple of years since I've been in the military. So obviously that can be pretty challenging for anyone that's super close with their family as I am. Um, that's definitely been the most challenging part for me. Um, Adapting to new circumstances is another one. Obviously, Hawaii is a lot different from Alabama in more ways than one. Um, there's been a lot more people out here moving to an entirely new location. Um, Basically leaving all the friends and family that I knew behind to make new friends out here and new colleagues has been kind of unique but rewarding experience. It's been challenging, but it's been a lot of fun too.
I know, I've heard several people say when you join the military, there's so many different cultures and, different things just to learn about each other. And that can be really exciting, but I can certainly see how it can be challenging as well. Um,
Yeah.
so, some of the students that are listening might be interested in joining the military, or maybe they're just a little bit curious about opportunities that are in the military. So, would you mind sharing any words of wisdom or advice that you have for students that are still in high school?
Yeah, absolutely. Something I've spoken with my father about. He was the one that um, kind of put me onto the idea of ROTC in the first place. I didn't really know what it was coming out of high school. I don't think that many students have a full grasp of what it is.
Mhm.
In their mind, they just hear ROTC, they see Army in front of it, and they just think, oh, it's like the rest of the military. But like I said, it is very different. It's important to understand that it's not just like the rest of the military, that you can do both college and that. And you can come out with a degree like you would otherwise, but with your student loans being paid for, all your tuition, stuff like that, and a lot of extra benefits as well. So I think that's super important to understand. If you are interested in it, I'd definitely encourage you to kind of dive deeper into it. Um, and just kind of see what all is out there. Like I said, most colleges have it in one way or another. Um, but just kind of understand that it's definitely not like the rest of the military. It's very unique. There's more than one way to go, and like I said, there's a lot of different career paths that can be taken um, through ROTC.
Yeah. So if a student is interested in joining ROTC, is this something that they would talk to local recruiters about, or would they need to visit the college and talk to the ROCT on whatever college they're interested in?
Yeah, I would definitely encourage to reach out to the, recruiter, not necessarily a recruiter just in generic Army because they're probably going to get you to, join basic training, all that stuff. But each ROTC program at individual colleges has someone that acts as a recruiting officer, and they can give you more specific information about what ROTC looks like as a whole and how it's maybe specific to that particular university. Obviously, UNA is just right down the street from Brooks,
Mhm.
um, and they have a recruiting officer who I know personally and have spoken with on multiple occasions. And he has expressed his interest in, speaking with Brooks students. I told him that not a lot of, at least not while I was in the program, there were not a lot of students out of Lauderdale County that were in the program. It was a lot out of like Limestone and Madison County. And I think that's just because we don't have a lot of ROTC programs in um, Lauderdale County schools. So maybe a lot of students don't really have a full grasp of what it is. Um, but you can definitely reach out to them as well. I've had people reach out to them at UNA and, them being completely not necessarily interested in UNA, but interested in like Auburn or Alabama, and they'll point you in that right direction. They won't, force your hand, make you go to UNA. They'll give you all the information that you want.
Yeah, that's such good advice. And like you mentioned, a lot of students just aren't aware of what's out there. So I hope if you're interested for you guys to go and check it out and research it. But well, I have so much enjoyed talking with you. Is there any last words of wisdom you'd like to share with students at Brooks High School?
No, no, I think I've said just about it. It was great to talk to you. Great to get this message out to the students out there. I wish I was back there in person so I could kind of deliver the message in person. Um, but like I say, a long way away. Only get home, every so often. But it's something I've been wanting to do for a while is to get the message of ROTC and Army kind of out there to the students and just to let them know that there are a lot of different options and the ones that they know about might not be the only ones.
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll chat soon.